All right. Okay. Just waiting for people to ready up. Which board do we have? We have the industrial board. Got Albion, Polania. Alright, it's going to start with us. Let's go ahead and get on metal as quickly as we can. We'd like to move the character, but probably can't be helped right now. Looks like my video's not keeping up. I'm going to restart this real quick. Okay. We're back. 4'5". Okay, let's see here. Let's start with Ronan. See what Polania's got the patriotic board. They're starting to trade for some metal to try to get that first mech. Albion's got one metal. They're going for the Tundra encounter. Let's see what they get. The 4 wood is enough for them to get a building the next time they produce. So they're going to go for that quicken list, probably so they can go ahead and get their combat cards since they don't start with any. No, they went power. They didn't go combat cards. Alright, what are we going to do, Nordic? We'd like to produce, right? But no, we're going to trade. And that way, the next 2 productions will have enough oil for upgrades. What is easy? Engineering? Nordic engineering is a strong combination. It may be hard to beat in this game. Okay, so we're going to try something a little bit different here. We're going to put a trap token right here. And then we're going to go ahead and get off here and get to food. Next time I do this, I might try going with Shinobi first instead of Ronin, and then use that sequence right there to move some workers over onto metal. Start getting upgrades. Oil, jumping over to that spot. Tagawa is hard, guys, especially with a board like Industrial, where all the coin is tied up in upgrades. Go ahead and get started, ready for our next mech here. Polania could trade for some more metal. That's what they're going to do. They'll have their first mech next turn. We got Nordic. Let's see if they'll go to 8 workers here. Well, they produced last turn, so they've got to do something else. Moving over to food. Let's good move. Okay, they're going to put 3 of them on there. Let's get some food ourselves. And let's go Toka. We may want to go across this and get up this encounter up here, and no one's really threatening us. There's no Saxion in this game. Albion's moving slowly. Nordic may not even build mechs. Albion's going to move and start to upgrade something. Agriculture board is good with Albion. We've got a video of that up. If you want to check that one out. Did it a little bit differently than he's doing it right now. See what he upgrades first. Come on, Albion. What you gonna upgrade? Well, while he's thinking about that, what are we gonna do? He's gonna upgrade his enlist. Nordic is probably gonna produce, get another upgrade, and make some food so they can enlist next turn. Polani is going for enlists as well. They don't have food on the ground. I think we're going to go ahead and grab our first enlist here. Alright, let's do it. 2 food. They're probably not even going to build mechs. They will, but the coin enlist isn't worth as much as it normally would be. We've got Nordic about to start doing enlists. We'd like some combat cards. We're going to take the power because we start with none. Kick things over to the Polania. So our basic strategy here that we're going to try, and not sure how well this is going to go, but we're going to go for it, is we're going to move these 2 workers back over to this village and the character to the encounter, see what we get. Maybe we'll get some metal or something like that. We're going to produce to 5 workers, and then the next movement, when we put the character up here, we'll toss these guys back over to the food on the farm. And when we do that, each time we produce, we'll be getting all 4 food, so we can use the trade action for the other 2 metal right here. And that way we'll toggle back and forth. Alright, Nordic. Okay, that makes sense. Moving 2 workers onto the oil, so now he can be sure to get He's got a nice little Nordic engineering engine going here. He's going to use his next upgrade to upgrade his, no, he's already upgraded the enlist. He'll use his next upgrade probably to upgrade his buildings. He's clocking along, probably winning this game right now. No, Polani's ahead. We are a distant fourth. Okay. So hopefully we get a good encounter here. Alright, we can get 2 food and a popularity. 3 resources. We'll go for this. We can either get metal. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get metal. And we'll trap this because why not? Actually, you know what? We're going to save our trap tokens. No one's remotely close to getting to us. We don't really have to worry about being rushed at this point. We got no mech, Nordic. Got Albion, who's slow. This is not the best encounter for him. Alright, what's Albion gonna do? Still focusing on upgrades. Probably gonna use his move action to bring a couple workers over to that farm spot now. He has 6 workers, which is typically not considered one of the good numbers of workers, because 6 workers it costs a popularity to produce in addition to the power, and you could have a 7th worker and there wouldn't be any additional cost for production. So what are we gonna do? We're going to make our 3rd mech and we're going to go to 5 workers. Probably go for Ronin, since our character is going to start moving out on its own. No, we have Ronin and Toko. We'll go for Shinobi. Alright, time to produce. And there's Shinobi. Thanks for watching. Is the stream coming through alright tonight? Polani is going to enlist again, which is going to give us another combat card. All right. Albion's going to get a $4 mech off of this. Doesn't hurt. Right now, Nordic and Polani are the ones with the coin advantage. We're lagging somewhat. It's just, Industrial's a hard board unless you're, it's good with Polania, every board's good with Crimea, it's extremely good with Saxony. It's rough, it's difficult with Albion and Tagawa. Well, he doesn't need metal, does he? Because he's probably not going to build mechs at all. And he's going to get his enlist. I don't think he wants to give up his popularity with engineering Nordic. I didn't see. Did he get the $2 popularity? Alright, we're up to 5 combat cards. That's nice. Alright, we're gonna drop a trap here. Move here to start getting some food for our enlists. So next time we'll produce, we won't get a mech, but we'll have 2 metal. After that we'll enlist. We'll trade for some oil. We'll probably start getting some upgrades at some point. This is pure experimentation here. No one's really eager to get out of their home base in this game. Albion's got 2 mechs. They've got Burrow and Sword. Sword is an interesting choice right there. Usually you get Sword when you're about to attack someone. Suggests maybe he intends on moving across here and coming after Nordic. Have an early fight in this game. Still doesn't have combat cards. Polania just has speed, although still looks like 3 turns away from having another mech. No one's rushing this game. Right now Nordic probably has the best engine going. see here. Polania has all the wood. We're up to 6 combat cards. Trap isn't going to do much of stop Albion, is it? So we can trade and get whatever resources we want. And then enlist. Polania is already up to 2 stars. Alright. Let's here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna trade for I get 2 oil. Need some power here. Gonna need to get some more power in this game. There's Polania getting their metal. They're building buildings with the patriotic board, which you usually don't see with Polania. Okay, we get one more. We're going to get one more produced before we run out of power. So that's going to give us enough metal for our last mech. It's going to give us 4 wood, and then we can turn around, or 4 food, and then we can turn around and trade for 2 more oil, which means after our 3rd enlist we can do an upgrade. And we're not even so much wanting to upgrade a bottom row action that desperately. We mostly just need the power and the coin at this point. Do we have a chance in this game? No one's coin looks crazy right now, but we are lagging substantially. It's the life of Tagawa for you. Yeah, it's just rough with the industrial board when your faction relies on generating coins and territory control. The industrial board specializes at rushing the game, building mechs quickly. Okay, about to go 0 on power here. So here comes Polonia's second mech. Gotten a nice little boost now. We have doable objectives. Rather, we have a doable objective. We're going to have to help that. Power Star is going to be out of reach. We're going to get the Enlist Star, the Worker Star. I think we're going to need 2 combats, an objective, and mech. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's what we're going to have to do. So once we've made enough food for these enlist, priority needs to be to get the worker star and then start spreading these workers out. Albion's racing for the factory now. He's going to beat us there. We have distinct combat card advantage over him, so we can win in a combat if we just get some power. Still have the power trap. Be the one we'd use right there. Alright. Be kind of nice to have that popularity enlist. I think we might go for it actually. Okay, think this through. If we trade for 2 more oil, that'll give us 4. We use 3. We upgrade the upgrade. Next one costs 2. Same difference if we upgrade the enlist. Yeah. And get 2 more buildings out of Polonia, 3 more out of, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 popularity. That'll play. So Polonia's got submerge and speed now. And they've got a mine too, so they can definitely hit us. They have the combat cards and the power to win. It's entirely possible we're going to get bumped back to home base, and at this point there's not a ton we can do about it. The good news too is that on the bright side, we're not really enough of a threat for anybody to want to slow us down. It's more, does Polania want the combat star? There's one move. Let's see if they're coming for us. Not yet. And there they are on the factory. I think we may move next turn. We have Ronin, so anyone attacks us has to deal with us having 2 power. Let's go ahead and go up there and place a trap token, lay claim to another territory. Get an encounter while we're at it. There's a lot of time gone on people's counters relative to the number of stars in this game. Hey Bruno, how's it going, man? You having a good night? Oh. You know, I'm going to be patient. I'm tempted to take that wood. Nordic's at 31. It's really a question of who do we want to hurt more right now, and I think the answer to that is Polania. So let's take this encounter off their hands and think about which trap token is going to hurt Polania the most or slow them down the most. It's probably going to be the 3 popularity. We still need to produce at least 1 more time for these 2 enlists, but we can move this. If we move a worker here and produce twice more, that will get us to 8 workers. So that's what we're going to do for our second move. Vancouver, wow. I've heard really nice things about Vancouver. Right there on the ocean, right? Hey Scott, how's it going? Oh, okay. We don't need the medal, so we're going to enlist a recruit. Oh, so now we got our enlist star. Okay. Now I'm wishing I'd moved more workers to really wishing I'd moved more workers to that village now. Hindsight's 20/20. We just have no coin as the problem. Polania is sitting on 16 of it. With that patriotic board, you get so much coin. What's a building bonus? Straight line. Okay, this next turn we're definitely going to bolster. It's an enlist they don't need, and food they don't need. It's a bad encounter for Polania. That's good news for us. Can't find me on Discord? What's your if you want to put your username up in the chat, I'll look for you. Yeah, as far as Tagawa goes, I'll be honest, I'm not the strongest Tagawa player, and Scott, and I don't know how strong the Tagawa players get. I've seen Tagawa play really well, but everybody pretty much agrees they're about the weakest faction. I kind of just base it on what the mat will give me. With the industrial board, the answer to that is not much. Trying to get mechs out. Went for enlists this time, even though they don't give much coin. Next time I do this, I might go upgrades earlier and just see how that goes. That might have been the better way to go. Electo, if I'm saying that right. Greetings to you. Mexico, huh? Stonemeyer Games ship there, I guess. I've heard that international shipping on this game is rough. Maybe worse. That may be mostly for people down in Brazil and Southeast Asia and things like that. But this is a rough game for us so far. He ran away with the food. That's smart. We could have taken it last time. Okay, what are we going to do? We're going to bolster. Going to get our power to 4. Going to get some coin. Oh yeah, I got a friend request. Let me take my turn real quick. And let's upgrade our move, definitely. And, you know, I say definitely, but actually I'm going to start with my... Yeah, I'm going to start with the move and make the bolster cheaper. Alright, Baronet. Friend request. Approved. I agree, man. It is, Electo, it is my favorite game. It's just perfect. I mean, you've got engine building, you have territory control, you have psychologically based combat. It's like all the best elements of Settlers of Catan, Risk, Puerto Rico, Agricola, name it. Like if there's a game and there's a good element in that game, it's in this game. It's amazing. If there's one thing you can say negative about this game, it's that there are some faction Mac combos are substantially better than others. Like we're playing a particularly weak one right now. See, we got 3 trap tokens on the ground. Got 1 more in our arsenal. I think we just keep going this way. Maybe. And just try to rack up some territory. We're also going to get... We'll see, though. We're definitely going to move. So we need 3 workers here to get the power star next produce. So let's put 2 here. And this is why we upgraded our move, because we wanted to do this. And let's drop our last trap token, because with the flag token on the factory, we can't put one there. Whew, rough game for us. Scott, this is not a ranked game, thankfully. My win percentage in this game is around 52%. Globally, it is under 20% with Tagawa. So it's rough. Scott, the thing about ranked right now is yeah, that's a conversation for another day. The elo system's a little rough right now. If you're in a game with a bunch of players and everybody but you quits, and then you win the game and you just beat the bots, I hear you actually lose a little elo doing it. Alright, Albion. I don't know who's going to end this game. I mean, we're tied for the most stars. We haven't really done anything. We're almost at tier 2 popularity, which is going to net us 8 more coins, which is not a lot. Albion finally picked up some combat cards. Which is good for him, not good for us. Is the video stuck? Alright. Yep, video is stuck. Okay. Let's see here. Are we back? Alright, I hope we're back. Okay, we got the worker star. Okay, video's back. That is good to hear. Wonderful. Alright, we're at okay. Says the connection's excellent now. Is the video working alright for you guys? Can you guys see the video alright? Is it working? I'm going to start spreading out here. See if that helps. Gonna use this. Hopefully we'll start getting some coin. Now it's back. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I have the combat card. It's why aren't your combat card values showing? Yep, same here. Lots of buffering. We hear the audio fine, but the video refreshes one frame once in a while. So I'm hoping it's better now. I turned down the frames per second. And it looks on my end like it's doing better. So hopefully the video is unstuck for you guys. Just let me know if it is, I guess. Okay, great. Scott Harris seems better now. Wonderful. Hopefully the setting change is enough to help it run stably. Oh. See, it's Nordic's turn. Wonderful. Glad it's working. Okay, Nordic just lost 4 coin, flipping my trap. Okay, we can move twice. Is there anywhere we want to go? I don't think there is. It's the only bottom row action we can upgrade and actually use. Oh yeah, Scott, the combat cards. I hid the combat cards just, in case somebody who's playing with me logs onto the stream and wants to know what my combat cards are. It's probably paranoia, but yeah, thought I'd try it. Hope the stream's still working for you guys. Played with the settings a good bit today to try to get it to work. Oh, Polani is spreading out. I don't think I could match that spread. Ah, smart. Yeah, I'd like to think so. We want some more popularity. How are we going to get it? I think at this point we just have to start spreading out a little bit. How often do you stream games? I streamed last night and I am streaming tonight. I'm kind of new to this. Albion's going to run out of time. I'm kind of new to this. I've played Scythe a lot. I have a lot of games under my belt. And alright, looks like it went down for just a second there, but we're back. I wired my connection and everything. I don't know why it's having such a hard time. Oh, that was wonderful. Nordic just gave us a popularity, and you're about to see why it was wonderful. 1, 2, and 3. We are going to arm the trap, and we just completed send 1 back as a warning. And maintained our 7 popularity, which we really couldn't afford to give up. This game's probably still out of reach though. We just can't compete with this coin production with the industrial board. There's really nowhere for us to go that we haven't already spread out to. Can move some guys to lakes, I guess. That's what we'll do. Yeah, man, technology. I'm kind of mystified by it, honestly, because I think maybe it's a my graphics card has a limitation. My internet should be fine for it. Polania, can Polania hurry up and just put me out of my misery here? That would be nice. All they need is a combat. Maybe they'll get it this turn and things. Problem is they're low power. And they don't exactly have a place they can fight me. But I'm not really that low on power. If we get another turn in this game, probably go fight Polania now. Tempted just to throw the combat to be done with it, but Nordics fought too hard for us to do that to him. You give him a chance to win the game. Video should be working fine. It says excellent connection, so when it said that, you guys haven't had much trouble hearing it or seeing it. I know the video's been the bigger problem than the audio. So what's Albion doing? Albion may just be wanting to end his misery. He's got swords, so he can win this combat if he's so inclined. If he has the card, and he doesn't. Alright, that's game. Wow, that was rough. Good game, Polania. Well played. What was that, 21 rounds? That was a long, long game. Let's get another one queued up here. Hope we don't get Tagawa Industrial again. Fight some people in here. Video's good. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate that. Look, we already got 2 people. This is good. Let's try to get 4 for this game. Oh. Ask and it shall be granted. You guys want to see my combat cards? Probably let you guys see my combat cards. I don't think anybody I'm playing with is snooping. Four is good. Let's go. Yeah, I streamed last night and I won all 3 games. The third one was actually a large game with Albion. I felt really good about that one, but the stream messed up before that one finished, so didn't get that one on the stream recording. I feel like Landlord did this last time and just sat in the lobby for forever. Go with 3 or wait. give it like 2 more minutes. 1 more minute. See if anyone joins. Alright. He says to wait. We don't want to make him angry. We'll wait for just a minute. So we got someone from Vancouver here. We had someone in here from Mexico at one point. This game really has a large following outside the United States. I just know from the Facebook group that there are a lot of people from Brazil and everything. It's fun to watch the breakdown of the videos I've been making by country. I mean, there's a few people from Brazil and the United Kingdom, and even I think somebody from Germany has said watch some of the strategy videos I made, game playthroughs. Alright, we're gonna go. If one of these guys doesn't join in the next 10 or 15 seconds, we're gonna start the game. Oh, the game hurt us. Okay, well, if you're going to start, we'll go ahead and give you one more player. Okay, Saxony, and we have 1 doable encounter. 0 power, 13 popularity, 5 workers is not workable. 3 mountain territories certainly is. And we have the patriotic board. Okay, not a terrible board for Saxony, at least it's not agricultural, but I'd much rather have innovative, the industrial board we had last time. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this Crimea militant is just incredibly powerful. I mean, I don't know that I've ever played with this guy before. We've got a good player. I recognize the Rusviet player. He's good. He's probably got a good game plan for engineering. Nordic Mechanical is very solid. I have a Nordic Mechanical video where it's a 17-turn game. It goes pretty smoothly. So we're going to go third here. So with the patriotic board with Saxony, what I like to do is get some early upgrades. We've got good combat cards, that's nice, but we're going to be trading for oil. I have a Saxony patriotic video too. But Crimean militant, if they play this right, we won't be able to touch them. None of us will. And so far, I mean, produce is the right first action for them. If you look at their board down here, they can produce, get a food, and immediately turn around, trade 2 food, and enlist, get their combat cards. Nordic moved over to his village and to his mountain. Rusviet's probably going to produce again, and there it is. Here comes Crimea's enlist. At least this game is moving along faster. That last game, everybody took forever to move, it seemed like. Me included. He should enlist his combat card enlist and then get combat cards. It's probably what we're about to see. Seriously, Crimea militant can end the game before we even have a star. With combinations like that, the key is going to be combat denial. He did not go for the combat card enlist. He went for the power one, which you can argue there's some benefit to that since I'm going to be doing some upgrades. So this is a fun little trick here. Basically, rather than go ahead and moving a worker to the village and the character here, and then next time just moving the character, we're going to use 2 moves to move the character here and move the worker down to here. Nordic's just producing. Then we're going to produce this oil instead of trade for this oil, and now we have 3 moves to move our workers up here, and the character to the encounter. Okay, so Rustfeet's going for oil. I usually like to stay on metal a little bit longer with the engineering board there. Produce our 2 oil. Crimea is probably going for the combat card enlist next. So how long have you guys played Scythe? New to the game or owned it for a long time? Here comes another Crimea enlist. Oh, Bruno, sorry about that. What software do you use to encode the stream? Use OBS. If you've got a suggestion for something better that's maybe a little bit less resource intensive, by all means, I'd love to hear it. Let's see, what have we got? Crimea. Combat card enlist now? Yep. 1.5 year. It's good, man. It's a great game. This Christmas I got like nothing but Scythe stuff from my entire extended family. I got like, let's see here. Yeah, my wife's here. She's like, on purpose. Let them know it was on purpose. Oh, this is a good encounter, but I'm torn here because this is patriotic board. I'd love to have that enlist, but it's patriotic board, so we're going to take the metal. You know, I've not played Rise of Fenris, Scott. I'd love to play Rise of Fenris. The thing is, my in real life group that I play with, we have a board game night every 2 weeks, but it's kind of like some people are here one time, then other people are here another time, and the group's just not consistent enough. So I also play with some of my relatives, but I've just kind of been going back and forth on which group is the best candidate to try to commit them and lock them down to an 8-game campaign. Is Kintofu. I haven't played digital. Is there no in-game bonus tile for digital? Are you talking about the building bonus? Yeah. This particular one is the building's neighbor encounters. Let's start with speed. Is that what you meant? The building bonus? Anyway, it's there, if that's what you meant. Nordic's about to get his first mech. So let's think about our timing here. We're going to produce next and get to 3 workers. Then we're going to build a second mech because we'll have 3 metal. So we'll have 1 left over. We'll produce again, get to 5 workers, and have enough for a mech. Alright, then I know what I'm going to do. Got a little trick up my sleeve about how to make that work a little bit better. Crimea is going a little slow with these mechs. Okay, yes, that's it. I couldn't see where the building bonus info was. Okay, good. Yeah, digital plays just like the base game version in Invaders from Afar. There's no Wind Gambit and there's no Rise of Fenris. And to be honest, I don't own Wind Gambit, so I have never played it. I've played this game many times, digital and in real life, but never played Wind Gambit. But I hear it shifts the balance of the game a lot, and some people don't like it. But I hear really good things about Fenris. And I know very few spoilers about it. I think I know the names of the other factions, and like I said, it was a Christmas Scythe, so some of my extended family gave me metal mechs. So I have the metal mechs for the Fenris expansion faction, so I know what they look like, which is a spoiler. But yeah, I got metal mechs for Christmas. Got the realistic resources and the oh, you played? I played Fenris Heads Up with my wife. Sweet, man. Yeah, my wife plays some too. But yeah, I bought these little trap tokens for Tagawa and flag tokens from Albion that someone printed on 3D printed and sold on Etsy. Realistic tokens and resources. I even got this big plastic factory that somebody made to put in the middle of the board. Just checking and see what things are doing. We're last, but it's all close. Wondering if we should have gone with that. Recruit. You can get the combat card recruit for Saxony down here. Even if it's the only one you get, it's really powerful because it shuttles you a lot of cards. Nordic might be going for enlist next, so let's get underpass. Our next move is going to be kind of fun. Show you guys what I'm talking about in a minute. The in-game tiles in Gambit is a nice module. I have to check out Wind Gambit at some point. It looks visually spectacular in the pictures I've seen that people post on like the Facebook group and elsewhere. They look really neat. People paint the miniatures and everything. My hands are not steady enough for that sort of painting. Like, I have so much respect for people who can do that. Just sit there and, I mean, I don't know how they do it. I've seen people who paint things up, like eyes on the miniatures, or paint the face or something a specific color. And I'm sitting there thinking, good grief, is the end of your paintbrush even that small? All right. I have a buddy who has all the expansions. Wind Gambit changes things a lot. Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear it can be really interesting for Albion. Almost like giving them a speed mech. Rusviet has no... Okay. Like I said, we're about to do something really cool. And we'll see if it we'll see how much it helps us in a minute. I take it back, we're not going to do it yet. We're going to do one more produce first, and maybe... Yeah, we're going to do one more produce. Maybe a mech deploy. No, just to produce that. Just to produce, I think. Yeah, I had a camera set up and actually had my face on the screen right here last night. My computer just can't process that much, keep up with it, unfortunately. Yeah, they took the combat cards, that figures. We had the most coin, which is not surprising, considering we had the patriotic board. Nordic has 4 coins from the building bonus. Alright, we're at 5 workers. And we have enough metal for another mech. But we're not going to deploy it. We're going to move next turn. Nordic's about to produce and get their first enlist. Boy, they're so vulnerable up there. Crimea had Wayfarer, they could... But I mean, it's not that bad because their produces on top of their enlist, so the food never sits on the ground. Mechs. I think I got speed and underpass. Yeah, I got speed and underpass. So what we're about to do is we're going to set it up to where we get an encounter and we get out of our home base and we get enough workers on a village so that our next produce gives us the worker star and it gives us enough metal for our last mech. So, I mean, you guys may all know this and all, but I didn't know this for a long time. With underpass, not only can you go from a mountain that you control to a tunnel, but you can go from a mountain you control to another mountain you control. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop a worker here, take this mech over to this village. We're going to take this mech and this metal over here to this encounter space that's on a mountain. So we control this mountain, right? So now we're going to move our character here. We control this mountain. And then he's going to jump all the way over here. I just think that's so cool. Sorry if you guys are like, well, that's obvious, but... Oh, we got it. That's gold right there. That is gold. Let's see here. It's probably 5 combat cards that we're getting for that 2 popularity. So now we can build a mech. It's time to start looking at people's power. Rusviet and Nordic are both low. Rusviet just has Riverwalk. They're gonna run away. Oh, that wasn't a good idea, Rusviet. Wasn't a good idea at all. Okay, that was a big mistake on Rusviet's part. Okay, Crimea can't touch us. Hey man, thanks. Glad to have you back from last night. I'm glad you gave me another chance. I know that was rough. Okay, so Rustviet just moved back here to all their resources, and they moved this guy away, and he just has Riverwalk. That means if I attack this spot and take it, he can't actually take it back. So here's a little nice trick. Again, this may be... Yeah, this is Patriotic Saxony, man. This is... it's going alright. We got a good number of combat cards. And the downside is we have Crimea Militant in the game. The plus side is it's not the most efficient Crimea Militant I've ever seen. So we've got a little bit of time here. There's Scout. Oh, we can't move this turn though. Okay. That's alright. Let's get disarmed just in case Crimea is getting any ideas. That's okay, we gotta start getting stars here pretty soon. And you see, when we made that move and we got that encounter, not only did we get this enlist out of it, so Nordic's going to feed us these combat cards, but we also got worker distribution where we can still get the worker star and with that same produce get enough metal for our last mech, where if we'd stayed over here we were just going to get one metal. So we got a lot out of that movement. We have higher ground advantage, so we can hit this spot and this spot and get that objective at some point. See what Rustviet does here. He has no metal on the ground. Okay, I can't reach him now. That's unfortunate. I was going to go for him last time. Where's Nordic's power at? 6 and 4. Thanks for the likes, guys. I appreciate it. See, got a couple of them up there now. Okay, we're going to get the worker and mech star, so we need 3 combats. Where are we going to get them? Nordic doesn't have artillery. Crimea does have scout, I remember. Crimea cannot move this turn. Is that a trade action? Is this enlist number 3? Yeah, as late as we got that enlist, we're still going to get 2 combat cards off of Crimea, which is really nice. And it was a 2. Yay. Need Riverwalk. Could hit them there, but they have Seaworthy and they could just come right back. We could hit them there. Gonna go ahead and get the worker star, I think, so that as we're attacking we can also spread workers out. Okay. That's good. Yeah, we're going to move next turn. Because we kind of like to go to the factory anyway. Anytime you can get a factory car with Saxony, it's good because a lot of your game is moving. Hey Vincent. All good, man. Quality is not as sharp as the archives, but can still see what's happening. Yeah, the archives are at like 1080p. This is 720p in lower frames per second. Streaming is hard. Yeah, I've been fighting with it all night, man. Learning a lot. Few attempts to teach and play in life has not gone well. This is helping a lot. I'm glad, man. I'm really glad. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to use our little mountain to mountain trick we talked about again. And it's going to be great. Alright. And we're going to get two, everything goes right, we're going to get 2 combat cards this turn. So we just got to think about our worker distribution here. So we're going to send the character to the factory. And we're going to send the mech over here. It's going to take some workers with it. I think that's what we're going to do. I could be patient on higher ground and hit with Nordic with 2 different... Yeah, I think we got to be patient with higher ground and hit Nordic with 2 different. Digital version seems awesome, though I miss how you can see opponent's power board pop star status at a glance on the real thing. Using the turn wait to check and plan your turn is smart, though. You can see the opponent's board by hovering over their little icon down here in the bottom right. So you can see all the boards. And you can see the details of everybody by just expanding it out. So it's actually pretty easy to see everything. Okay, let's move. Who cares about popularity? Crimea does. Okay, we're going to drop a worker here, so now we control that mountain. Now, this guy can move here in 1 move, and here in 2 moves. And we're going to do a little bit more spread here. Because we're definitely not getting to 7 popularity in this game. Yeah, he didn't want to fight too bad. Hey, been checking out your... Samwise, hey, been checking out your archive. Good stuff. Live stream is looking good. Thanks, man. We just got our combat card. We're going to get our factory card here. We don't need this because we already have the worker. I really don't want to deplete our coin that much, honestly. At least this one gives us power, and the enlist bonuses can be nice. This gives us a mech, but we're going to get coin for our mech. This is weird, guys, but I'm going to take this for the 2 coin, even though I'm max worker. Just don't. Oh, nope, of course not. What were we just talking about? 3 mountain territories. Boom. This is a bug with the game. It will tell you can still complete an objective if you're Saxony, even though you can't. I obviously am not a beloved pacifist. I do not have 0 power or 13 popularity. There's a popularity power track in the digital game just as the real game. You can turn that on in settings. Yeah, it stacks up over here, up here, and over here. But I find it's easier just to look at this thing, and I think it uses up some extra computer resources to populate the one that's over there. Yeah, you play with those on? Yeah, I mean, I played with them on for a while. So my mouse wheel can scroll out You say I see screams where you have a view of the board from above. How is that done? I scroll back on the mouse wheel to scroll out, and I can come all the way back in. I can also right click and rotate the board, and it will shift the hexes around. So like if you want to see Nordic from an in real life perspective, you can actually turn the board around and you can play Nordic the way you're used to seeing them, for example. I'm really more comfortable playing Nordic from the... Oh, look at that, we're ahead. Is there anyone else we can pick on for some combats? Nordic still doesn't have artillery. Let's get some more power and get our mech star. Let's drop it right there. And again, I cannot complete an objective even though the game tells me I can. This is going well. We're up by 10 coin. We can move next time. So we got to start doing some math here. Nordic doesn't have artillery, and we can hit him in 2 different spots. One with 2 mechs, and one with 1 mech. We can get 8 out of the 2 mechs. Most he can throw is 10. So that's 2 power. But we could throw 5 power, a 2 and a 3, and that'd be 10. And 7 power and a 5 is 12. If no one messes with us, we can win this game next turn. Scott didn't know about the right click feature. Nice. Yeah, man. I think I found it on accident. Just hit the right click on not even intending to. Alright, did Nordic build artillery? They did not build artillery. Always got to check that. They're sitting on 5 power. Can Crimea move? Crimea can move. But they're not going to want to bump many of our workers because they're at tier 2 popularity. And they're 11 points behind. So what are they probably going to do? They're probably going to get their enlist star or produce, I would think. What's the lowest score, Samwise, what's the lowest score you've won a game with? Upper 30s, lower 40s maybe? I'm not sure about 30s. Definitely low 40s. Yeah. We may hit 50 this game. It's looking like this is going to be it. Unless Crimea does something to ruin our day. As we pick up a territory here, that's 2 coins, 4 coins, plus 6 coins from the star, that's 10 coins. Right now we're tied. So if Crimea bumps, they can bump 2 of our workers. They can take 2 spots away from us. That won't do it. Unless it's the factory, but they can't take the factory, right? They've just got 2 guys against 3 and we have 12 power. But they're thinking about it. Trying to figure out what they're going to do. That first encounter they gave us 4 metal really sped up our game. I mean, I wasn't even paying attention to the round here. I'm not sure I've ever won with Patriotic Saxony in round 14. I've won with Saxony in fewer rounds than 14, but Patriotic's generally a slower board. What are you doing, Crimea? Okay, you're gonna bump 1. That's that. Definitely can't take the factory away from me now. What he should do is he should attack me on that mine up there. But he's not going to. Well, that should be game, guys. Alright, we can use 5 power here and leave ourselves with 7 for the other battle and get ourselves to 10, which is the maximum our friendly Nordic can throw. Shows over there. Let's check the score real quick. And yep, that's game. Always save extra power as a habit, just in the event of ties. Yeah, we hit 50 this game. Although, don't do that as a defender. I've done that before. Gone, oh, they can hit 10. I gotta get 10. And then lost the tie. Was that really 14 rounds on Patriotic Saxony? It was. I'm screenshotting that. Gee whiz, that was fast. Wow, good game. You're changing the way I approach the game with all your awesome videos. Thank you, Kintafu. I appreciate it. That was a good game. Short, quick, efficient. We won. All the things that make a Scythe game great, right? Oh. There's this glitch in Scythe where if you invite someone as they're joining and then they get into your lobby and you accept the invite, it boots them back into the lobby. I think that's what happened with him right there. Good game, beautiful play. Thanks, man. The mighty foam off. Sigh, I have to go do dishes now. Nice stream. Thanks, Kintafood. I appreciate you tuning in. We'll do it again. Samwise, how much do encounters and objectives affect how you play, or do you mostly stick to certain scripts based on your faction and board? So, Samwise, it's a little bit of both. Learning a lot from your videos. Thanks, man. It's a little bit of both. So, and it depends on the faction. So with Rustviet tends to be a somewhat scripted faction. Like, once you find a combination that's efficient, that really works with Rustviet, it's gold. Because as far as Rustviet goes, their economy is super powerful. Yeah, it was. Their economy is super powerful. Polani is obviously at the extreme polar opposite, where with Polania, you're looking to gobble up bot encounters so you can get bottom row actions and materials to try to quickly finish the game because their economy is not the best. Sometimes with Saxony, like I kind of know what I want to do with Patriotic Saxony, right? I want to get 2 upgrades. I want to get a worker on my metal. I want to get a worker on my village. I want to start toggling back from produce and make a mech. Try to make it line up so I don't have as few filler trades as possible. The reason that game went so quickly was because we got that 4 metal. So encounters, a lot of it's about knowing what you're going to need. A lot of it's knowing what you're going to need. So I took that metal in that last game because I knew if I produce, get a metal, and then bolster, I'm going to need 2 metal. So extra metal is going to mean I don't have to stop and trade. So that saves a turn. Having 4 metal in that game saved us 2 turns. And that's how you got to think about Scythe, because Scythe is ultimately a race. It's an engine building game, but it's a race. Like, you can win, and some factions you have to. Like, it's really hard to rush the game with Albion. Sometimes with Albion, what you have to do is you just have to stay ahead where no one can catch up. And you have to stay ahead far enough no one can catch up with you, even if it takes you 20 turns in the game. But with most of the other factions, Tagawa may be like that too, you're trying to race and get to the end of the game first. I've got a video of Crimea Militant up. It was the only second time I think I've played that board, and just kind of messing around with it, we ended the game in 15 turns. So obviously that Crimea Militant that we were playing in that last game wasn't being that efficient, which helped us. And he wasn't generating as much coin as that board can generate, which also helped us. But a lot of, circling back to your question, a lot of the encounters is knowing how dependent your faction is on it. Crimea and Rusviet have the strongest economies. They're not particularly encounter dependent. Tagawa, Albion, Saxony, to a lesser extent Nordic can really benefit from encounters. Nordic benefits quite a bit, about as much as Saxony actually. And then Polanias obviously can just, their whole game can turn on encounters. I wouldn't mind a 3-player game. It's rough when you get in a 3-player game, and then, like, I had a 3-player game not too long ago where I was okay, let's go then. Or I was Tagawa Militant against, oh man, Tagawa for the second time tonight, and we got Rusviet in the game. Oh, and it's mechanical. I hate Tagawa mechanical. And Rusviet is agriculture. It could be worse. Nordic is patriotic. So patriotic's a 3. We'll go last. Let's think about how we want to do this. The thing I hate about this board is it feels like it needs upgrades, but you don't get anything for doing those upgrades. There's no way to get 4 workers on the food for an enlist without getting to 4 or 5 workers, right? And if you get to 4 or 5 workers, it costs you popularity or power to produce. And what does Tagawa not have? Tagawa doesn't have power. So how do you get power? Well, one great way to get power early without just having to waste a turn on bolstering is to get an enlist. So how do we get an enlist? Oh, right. We get 4 workers on. And it's this chicken egg problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for 2 Initial upgrades on our enlist. See if Rusty just wants to bump him here. It's kind of weird that he chose to go for this farm. Yeah, man, I struggle. Yeah, Samwise, Oh, you missed joining in the game? I'm sorry, man. If you'd said something, I would have waited for you. Yeah, I struggle with, I'd say Tagawa these days I struggle with the most. They're the weakest faction, everyone kind of agrees. Like I said earlier, I win less than, I think, 1 out of 5 games with them, where I win over 50% of the games with the other, globally, including Tagawa. Saxony has actually gotten a lot better than with me. I used to really struggle with Saxony. There are some boards for Saxony that just don't work, but most of them are decent. Like, Patriotic tends to be slower, but you saw last game we can win with Patriotic Saxony in 14 turns if the game goes right for us. Innovative's amazing, Industrial's amazing, Militant is good, Mechanical's decent. The only one that just you really don't want to get with Saxony is Agricultural. That one's just no good. But what I do, I kind of do the same-ish thing with Saxony every time. Not the same moves, but I try to get to 8 workers. I try to get to 4 mechs. And then I look at my objectives. I figure out, can I get one or both? And then I opportunistically try to grab combats. I have an easier time, though, with Saxony on the digital version playing experienced players than I do playing new players, like in real life. Because one of the strategies you have to employ with Saxony is you have to bluff sometimes. You have to attack with 3 mechs and then, like, throw 2 twos, right? You just don't have enough power and combat cards to just win by brute force. Now, we did that game because we had the Patriotic board, but generally you're not going to be able to get away with that. What was I saying? So Saxony's about bluffing, right? But the problem is when you play in real life friends that haven't played that much, you might go in and you might throw 2 twos against a Rustviet that has, 5 power and 2 cards, and the Rustviet throws like all 5 power and their best card. And now they have 0 power, they can't produce, they can't do anything, but you lost the battle and now you're back to base. And that's when you have to just drain people of power, and that's something we did kind of effectively in the 19-turn Patriotic Saxony video that's up on the channel. Basically, I got 2 objectives, and they were laughably impossible, laughably undoable. Let's see what's Rosfi gonna do. He can get a free enlist here. He took 4 workers, so he's probably planning on producing twice and then coming back. Oh, no. No, he took 4 workers. That's going to speed up his game. That's not necessarily good for us. So he's going to upgrade his enlist. He's going to produce twice. 5 workers agricultural can work. It's not quite as fast as 8 workers agricultural. Okay. And Rustviet's about to start enlisting, so we're going to do this. Always take power off the first enlist with Tagawa, because it's the thing you don't have. We got a 5. Isn't that nice? I mean, we've had it since the beginning, but haven't really been paying attention to combat cards this early. Oh, yep, Nordic got bumped. See, that was just rude. Like, Rustviet didn't need both of those farms. Come on. I mean, there's really no downside with Rustviet to going up to this place with your character, because your best way off your island is not your peninsula is not your river walk, at least not up here. I mean, your best ways off your peninsula are through this tunnel and through your township mech. Oh, and by the way, what we said before about let's see here. We're going to go here. We're going to drop a trap just because. We're going to go there. We're not going to move this guy to the village yet. We got an oil in case we want to do another produce, maybe for this metal. What's fun with Rustviet is when you have like a mech and a couple workers here, and then a mech and a bunch of workers here, and say there's a guy over here that you want to attack. Well, you don't have a factory card, right? So you can't go, and maybe there's even a worker right here. But what you can do, if you have the township mech, the speed mech, and the riverwalk mech, is you can go 1, 2, bump the worker if it's there. Now suddenly you control this village and this village. So with this guy you can go 1, 2. I've ended a lot of games that way with being able to create a combat when otherwise there just wasn't a way to get to anybody. It's also a nice way to get something like over the tunnels or something like that. If you have somebody there, you can go 1, 2, and then 1, 2. But yeah, village to village and mountain to mountain when it comes to township and underpass are great things to know. So Rustviet's going to start giving us combat cards, right? Yep. He's going to have so much power this game. And we're going to give him some combat cards too, because we're nice people. Alright, let's think about the math here. We need We need 4 more food for our enlists. So if we go one more turn without moving these workers off here, one more produce, we'll have the one we need. Then we move again and move one of these guys here, one of these guys to metal, and then we start working on mechs, the mech star and the worker star. I think that's what we're going to do. And we left a trap token here not because we expect to get attacked here. We left a trap token here just because we're probably not going to put workers on this spot, or mechs, or anything really. So it's just one extra territory no one's going to challenge us for later in the game. Woodland advantage, 3 forest territories. Diversified production's a good one. I mean, we've got one of each tile like right here, so we'll get that one without too much work mid to late game. Just going to move once. Rusty is going to have a lot of power in this game and a lot of combat cards. You know, the popularity trap would actually be really nice right there. This is tempting, but I want my popularity. So I'm actually going to go with this. Don't go to the bottom row action, I almost did. You know what? No trap token yet. We're going to take a chance we don't get knocked back to base because we're going to build a... Oh, there's no worker here. I dumbed out on that one. That's okay. What's our build? Neighboring encounters. So I am going to put down a trap token. Yeah, that was probably a mistake to not take the something else there. But that's okay. It's $2 and we're going to get our money back and get a free building. Monument. Yeah. That'll be great actually, because we still have 4 mechs to build. Is the video still coming through alright, guys? YouTube's getting me a... Okay, we're back to excellent connection. Alright. This is kind of a wash now, isn't it? Buildings. Buildings it is. No one's even on oil. Boy, we got 2 5s. That's nice. So now, boy, Nordic's going crazy up there. Russviet's probably winning this game. Yep, we're not too far behind though. Pretty good all things considered. So this turn we're going to move up here, we're going to move a worker over to here, just use 2 of our movements. And the turn after that we'll produce, get to 3 workers, and we'll have all our enlists. We'll move again, get up here. Alright. These trap tokens count for territories, but they do not count as control. So if you leave resources on them, you can't spend those resources. If we get woodland advantage, which we did, and it says control 3 forest territories, we cannot put a trap token on one of them and have that count. Alright, we're at 6 popularity. Nordic's probably going to get us to 8. 2 more buildings. And we'll get to 12 with 4 mechs because of that monument we picked up. It's really close to tier 3. This is our second Tagawa game tonight. The stars are not with us. And he has Foundations of the Empire. Come on. It's just not even fair, guys. By the way, I've never tried this move combination with Tagawa before. This is all just on the fly. So, glad to be competing so far. I mean, he's on 3 spots and we're on 5, so it's not like we're feeling that good about it. One bad thing about putting a trap here is now we don't have to put a trap to put here if we're going to trap the factory. Which means kind of got to risk being naked for a spot. Is he coming for me? No, he moved 2 spaces already. He's blocking my access to the factory. Effectively, I might add. I can't do a tremendous amount about that. So we're going to move next turn. What do you think? Should I move up here and trap this tunnel? I think that's what I'm going to do. Just kind of annoy both his exit points. If I don't get to go to the factory, you gotta step on my traps. He just spent 3 pop to deploy a mech. He gave up tier 2 to deploy a mech. That is interesting. Nordic's pulled out ahead in front of us. Just build another building, Nordic. I'm going to leave that there. No, bring the wood I don't need. Might as well. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, it's gonna end our move. Cameron Evans, hey, what scenarios mats do you like to have 3 workers with Tagawa? Innovative. Innovative is, I think, the best mat with Tagawa. What I like to do with Innovative is I like to upgrade, I like to move workers to the village, my character to the farm, produce once, get an oil. So move 1, move a worker to the village, move your character to the farm, move 2, produce, so you've got 3 workers and 1 oil. Move 3, trade for 2 oil and upgrade, which gives you 3 coins with the Innovative mat. You upgrade your move and your deploy, so now your mechs cost 2 and you can move 3 times. You move your character to the encounter, both these workers to the mountain, and now suddenly you have 2 workers on the mountain, 1 worker on oil, you've got the encounter, your mechs cost 2, and your upgrade costs you 1 oil plus the trade action that's right above it. It's a nice start. You see what you get with the encounter and you just go from there. Alright, we're gonna have to trade for some metal eventually. Come on, Nordic, build a building. Make us feel good about our coin total. We'll be like tied with you if you build a building. He's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But how much is he getting off the building bonus? 4. There it is. Tagawa 42. Look at that. This is such a fragile lead, though. Such a fragile lead. You kind of want Rusviet to care about tier 2 popularity. He'll be more reticent to step on our traps if he does. Cameron Evans, I see the progression now. I remember that from your Takawa innovative video. Thanks. Yeah, sure thing, man. I almost won that game. I don't know if I used that progression at the beginning or not, or if I came up with it after that video. But yeah, I think with Tagawa and Albion, it's less about like having a sequence of scripted moves like 1 to 15, and more about having, like with Polania, you don't have like a scripted game with Polania. You have openings with Polania. Same thing with Saxony, because with Polania, it's what do the encounters give me and how do I react with that? With Saxony, it's like, okay, I need combat stars and objectives, which the best objectives with Saxony all have to do with territory control. 3 wood hexes, 3 farms is hard, 3 mountains. Diversified production, the one we have right there, it can be a good one with Saxony too. So now we get our first mech. Get some coin too. Definitely running. Create a little, decrease the incentive to attack us. Ooh, Nordic just got a big jump there. They're at 3 stars too. Rusviet's at 4. We're going to worker star next time. Our only hope in this game is to get back ahead and just hope we stay ahead. It's really all it is. Nordic spreading out too. See, I can't do much about mechless Nordic. He can kind of just do whatever he wants. It's Rusviet that's got to do something about him. It's just not going to happen, though. Rusviet's like, nah. So is Nordic going to end this game soon? Nowhere near that one. Needs 1 building. He's going to start building Max is what he's going to do. It's going to take him a while yet. See how much Rusviet gets out of the factory. It's almost caught us. The mighty Tagawa. Worker star. 2 combats and objective is what it's got to be. Nordic's ahead of us on popularity too, so they'll hit tier 3 before we do. Can you guys see the stream alright? YouTube's giving me an error, saying you guys might experience buffering or something like that. See, we're both at tier 2 and neither one of us want to give it up, which means it's going to be hard to stop Nordic. Rusviet can't invade Nordic, so the only combats he can get are off of me. I think I'll build Sutan next and move to Lakes, maybe. Why is Rusviet taking so long? They moved up here so they can get the worker star. They really just need 1 combat. If they catch Nordic, the game's over. Cameron Evans, I think it might be freezing up. Okay, all good now. Good. Yeah, it's a little spotty at times. Get Toka, we could take this encounter, that'd be nice. But we don't. We should have done this upgrade a while ago, but now we don't have the turns anymore. You guys have caught me on a Tagawa night. It's not a good night. What's Nordic doing? Mech number 1. Gotta make up some serious coin. Let's do Toka. And I think it's time to get our objective next turn. Oh my gosh. 3 popularity. Oh wow. Not gonna catch him now, are we? Gosh. You gotta start bumping people, Rusviet. He's gotta have the board. Coming for me? Is he just spreading out? He's just spreading out. You're not going to catch him, Russ. See, Nordic has a well-executed example of he doesn't have a quick plan to 6 stars. But what he does have... What he does have is an insurmountable lead. So the rest of us can just putt along until he gets a popularity star and finally gets a combat or something like that. See, you just can't catch him at this point, I don't think. It's way out of reach. The Misery of Tagawa. Sounds like the worst movie ever. I guess we'll produce. I mean, we're going to move next turn anyway, so at least we can build a building somewhere. Probably put it on this spot because it's next to 2 encounters. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I don't know why Nordic hasn't gotten that Riverwalk mech. Come attack me and get another one of those stars. You're not going to outspread him, Russ. Of course, if Rusviet gets to tier 3, that's another 17. That would tie. Russ can catch him. With 1 more popularity. Oh, and we're going to give Rusviet the popularity. No. Nordic's played too well. We can't give Russ the popularity. I hate playing Kingmaker, though. But I mean, a Rusviet player, he's not ended the game by like turn 21. It's too long of a game. Let's see. Alright, we're not playing Kingmaker, but if we build this building and Russ gets the 13 popularity, he attacks us and ends the game. Although he might not because he doesn't know what this is. So here's what we're going to do. I'm gonna go fight Nordic. No, we're gonna bring this one little wood with us. And what do we want to do with this other movement? Nothing. We want to do nothing. Okay, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 in one of our 5s, and the reason for that is if we get attacked again with Ronin, we'll be back up to 7. And he went 6, thinking we might just throw a combat card and bluff him. But we went higher than that. And we are not... Nope, we are going to build the building. Because Rustviet's got us anyway. Let's put a mill right here next to these 2 encounters. No one's wanted to fight in this game. That's why it's such a long game. Double attack. Do it. Oh, they can't do it. They can. What are they doing? They're going to throw a battle. No, they're not ahead. If you're ahead, it's a great tactic. Does he just want to end his misery? Maybe he takes the factory. That's what he does. He takes the factory and then he throws the second combat. Oh, brilliant. Nordic just won the game. This has to be the factory, right? Yes. He takes the factory. It's enough to put him in the lead. And now, it does not matter what happens in the second combat. Whoever wins this combat, they go to 6 stars, and Nordic wins the game. Great play. Well done. Oh, but he wins the second one anyway? What did I think he didn't... No, he didn't win the second one. But that's game, right? Rest of you just got star number 6. Yep. Well done. Maybe we can not get to Kawa next game. Seriously, at one point last week, I'd gotten Tagawa 7 out of 11 games. I'm getting practice with them. You can definitely say that's true. Casual Pooper. It's quite the username. Haha, at least you can enjoy commentating. Well, I hope... Thanks, Cameron. I hope I'm not the only one enjoying it. No, that was a great play by him. Won the one combat and then forced Rustviet into a no-win situation. Darned if he does, darned if he doesn't. Okay. Yeah, hop in our game. You just have to promise not to watch me on stream while you're playing. Or I have to throw up all my images to block my combat cards. See, this one right here. I got this one, cover what I'm doing. Got this to cover my objectives at the start screen. I can do it. I can do it. R3Z 3 and D3. I'm sorry, I forgot how you told me to pronounce it. What's your is that your username on the digital edition too? What's your username? We got 4 we could fill up. I think we're gonna fill up. What's your username? Oh, you're in. Ready up. We got 6 guys. Alright, bye. You can keep the audio on if you want. Or maybe not. Up to you. Fair enough. Oh, good old Albion. 3 forest territories. Divide and conquer. It's going to be impossible. Wow, these are not good objectives for Albion. Where are our forest territories going to be? Crimea Industrial's good. Saxony Militant can be good. Polania Patriotic. Yeah, I got a good start for that. I'm not sure I've played Albion Mechanical. I played this game a long time before I bought Invaders from Afar. Engineering with Rusviet. It's not the fastest mat, and I missed what Nordic had. Nordic has agricultural. Okay. So we're going to go 4th. Not great. Okay. Same board as last time. Other IFA. Where are our woodlands? Here, here, and here, I guess. Or we could do divide and conquer. So what I'm basically going to try to do with them is get a fairly early enlist. So I'll have some combat cards. Probably get to 8 workers. We're gonna go ahead and snag our village to make sure Nordic doesn't try to get cute, ruin our game. he's got agricultural. So we can't move again. So we could go ahead and snag a metal and produce. I think that's what we'll do. Not often. I guess I should have been more specific. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Midnight. 2 hours. 2 hours ahead of us. Wow. Here in Eastern Time. Rest of you had their second produce. Gotta get this worker on some oil. Try to get some upgrades. We need a really good encounter here. The worker's not really great. If we had one worker there, it would be good. I don't want to use a 2 popularity to build a structure, so we're better off getting 2 food and a popularity than paying $2 for a worker we don't really need and 1 extra food. Not a good encounter. Flag the village. Thanks for watching, guys. I may be back on later in the evening, but I've got something I got to take care of. So until then,